Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this from. This is my bottom review for Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr. Conor Benn getting his redemption over Chris Eubank Jr. Last night. Obviously, I will be reviewing that card and be reviewing the Espinosa versus Khegai card as well. So, only one PS start. Conor Benn defeating Chris Eubank Jr. by now decision for redemption. It was a complete shutout, wasn't it? It was a complete. It was a complete utter shutout in Conor Benn's favour. Conor Benn winning every round. I don't like to do this. I don't like to praise and give credit to trud cheats, but Conor Benn was a well-deserved winner. He was too strong, which is quite. Yeah, the fact that he was too strong for the most one to die just tells you everything. And Conor Benn just beat Chris Eubank Jr. to everything, didn't he? He was first to everything. It was controlled, stable performance, disciplined performance from Conor Benn. And yeah, big moment for him, isn't it? Winning in front of a massive crowd in a stadium as well. So it is a massive win for him. And I don't really want to take anything away from Conor Benn, but the facts are the facts. He's still a trudgy. And let's be real, it looked like a shot Chris Eubank Jr. I never seen Chris Eubank Jr. so lethargic in that fight. So sloppy in that fight. Eubank Jr. snatching at his jabs as well. And complete domination. And Chris Eubank Jr. all over the place in the final round when Conor Benn knocked him down twice as well. And you know what? I'm not. I was quite shocked that the towel wasn't thrown in. Actually, to be honest with you, just the way Eubank Jr. was all over the place as well. And Chris Eubank Jr. one tough die. He's one tough die, but I'm afraid. I think that's the last we've seen of Chris Eubank Jr. I'm afraid, and that should be the last we have seen. The last we should see of Chris Eubank Jr. He's been a remarkable character, just like his father. Great showman, the best seller of his own fights as well, with the trash talk as well. Obviously hitting Conor Benn across the head as well, across the head with an head. And Chris Eubank Jr., the greatest seller of his own fights, greatest promoter of his own fights as well. Especially when in terms of fight week build up. But for me, it was one fight too many. He just got so weak. There was no connection in his punches either. It was just all soft punches really. And no effect on Conor Benn. And it was sad to see. It was really sad to see. And it reminds me of James Dale as well when he fought Chris Eubank Jr. It was just sad to see, and that's when you know a fighter is done. It's done now in the win. And Eubank Jr. was that. Eubank Jr. was done after the first round. Let's be real. I think after the first round, you just knew it was going to be dominant from Conor Benn right after the first round. And even Eubank Jr. said it himself that he knew he lost the fight after the first round. And obviously there was a bit of aftermath afterwards. Obviously, who's respect between the two fighters for sharing the win. And what you saw, they've had two. The first fight was a war. The second one was just a beatdown from Conor Benn on the older die. Eubank Sr. and Nigel Benn, they've fallen out again, which is fair. I can understand Nigel Benn's reason for falling out with Senior then. And because Senior just wants the limelight, I'm afraid. As much as we all like him, he's a character. but he just wanted the limelight over his son, didn't he? And I think Nigel Benn's actually right in that, if I'm being honest with you. And what happens next for both fighters? Yeah, no chance of a trade, you know. This is putting an end to it now. Well, I don't think it will be the end because they still have Eubank out there. But I don't see Conor Benn going back to 147. I know people were saying, I know Conor Benn's saying he's going to go back down to 147. Not a cat in hell's chance is that going to happen. Go back down to 147. That is absolute murder at 147. Going back down to 147 after putting all that muscle mass and that weight on. And he made the weight well, didn't he, Conor? He looked quite good at the weight as well, Conor Benn. The way he was boxing as well. By the way, I said Conor Benn had no boxing skills, but last night he showed that he had boxing skills. But then, Dave Allen's spot on. Can you really take anything from that performance against a shot Eubank? And Dave Allen, what a pundit he is, by the way, for Top Sport as well. It's just a great listening to Dave Allen as well. And he's right. I completely agree with everything Dave Allen said on both these fighters. And Conor Benn, for me, does not win a world title at 154. I don't care what anyone says. Maybe at 160, once Janabek has moved up to 168, maybe he can win a world title at 160 because the 160, the middleweight division is so piss poor. Apart from Janabek and the Dameds, it's piss poor, that division. So Conor Benn, that could be the saviour for Conor Benn, maybe at 160. And don't forget his dad for middleweight and super middleweight as well. So I don't see why not for Conor, if I'm being honest with you. But there's no way Conor Benn can go down to 147. That's absolute murder, in my opinion. So Chris Eubank Jr., I have some strong words to say about his team, if I'm being honest with you. I think Chris Eubank Jr.'s career, I think we've all said it, that he's not a 160 fighter. He's been fighting at 160 for how many years now? And how many years have we said that he's not a 160 fighter? Why did his team not say to him, fight at 168? And by the way, Conor Benn should not have took this fight against Chris Eubank Jr. I still think Conor Benn's team has ruined Conor Benn's career, if I'm being honest with you. Moving him up to 160, if I'm being honest with you, and should have stayed at 147 and still Mario Barrios and get that world title. And so yeah, I think actually both of their teams, both respective teams, have ruined the boxers' careers, if I'm being honest with you, at this moment in time. And yes, Conor Benn stays at 160 and he waits for Janabek to move up to 168 because he's not beating Janabek, yes we will. And the middleweight division is so piss poor, with Janabek being their Simpson. It's so piss poor, apart from the Dames as well. I think 160 is the only saviour for Conor Benn, if I'm being honest with you. He's not winning the title at 154. I think a lot of 154 fighters beat Conor Benn, if I'm being honest with you. And yeah, and I think Eubank Jr.'s team have been an absolute disgrace, if I'm being honest with you. I'm not putting Bormack in this. I'll remove Bormack from this because he's only been there temporary. But why are you keep putting Eubank Jr. in 160 fights? And when he's so tight at that weight, he's looked tight at that weight on previous fights. And his best work is at 168 as well. And by the way, I don't think Eubank Jr. should move up to 168 now. I think he's completely done now, if I'm being honest with you. I think he should focus on being a father to twins as well. And of course, being an uncle to little Raheem as well. I think Eubank Jr. should focus on that now. He's made his money. He's only cared about money in his boxing career. He's made his money. Spend it towards his two twins and Raheem as well. That's what Chris Eubank Jr. needs to do. And I think we should be wishing him a happy retirement as well, because he's definitely been the best seller, best promoter of his own fights as well. And it's quite emotional talking about this as well. It's quite emotional as well. Because I was completely won. I thought Eubank Jr would do the job on Conor Benn in the rematch. And yeah, it just looked like one fight was too many for Eubank Jr. and Father Time has caught up with him. I don't think Father Time's a thing, because you look at Azim is 38 years old and he's still putting masterclass performances. It all depends, doesn't it? It all depends on the effect. But Eubank Jr. is right though. He has been through hell and back fighting that 160. But at the end of the day, he still signed that contract for the rehydration clause as well. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Now we move on to the undercard fights. Catterall knocking out Essuman in round 11. Catterall, not a positive under the new trainer, Buzzy Ennis. Not a positive. Catterall looked more offensive, didn't he? Looked like he had more power in his shots as well. Even though I knew he had power in his shots, anyways. They still kept Catterall's benefits as well in terms of on how he boxes, with that jab as well. Got a very good jab, Catterall, and the way he fights well with his stance as well. And Essuman, towards the championship rounds, he was putting the pressure on Catterall, wasn't he? Until Catterall knocked Essuman out in round 11, which was a horrific tumble for Essuman out to win. And that's when you knew it was finished. Essuman was never then back in the win after being knocked out of the win as well. And yeah, very good performance from Catterall. Still a lot of things to work on in terms of his defense, maybe his defense, because Essuman did catch him out a few times as well. Both suffered horrific cuts as well. Essuman was the more worse in terms of his eye being closed as well during the fight. And yeah, Essuman, one tough fighter. He is one tough fighter, and he made it tough for Catterall as well. And Catterall came out on top and made a statement victory with that knockout. He's not knocked out his opponent for quite a while now, has he, Catterall? What next for both fighters? I think Catterall needs to fight for a world title now. Fight one of Barrios or Crocker for a world title. I think he beats both of them. I do think he beats both of them. And finally, Catterall finally becomes a world champion, hopefully. And I think Essuman, I had to have Eubank fight for him. I do like to have Eubank fight for him. Once Eubank has won his warm-up fight against Josh Wagner, which he has coming up as well. So I would like that fight, Essuman versus Eubank, in my opinion. And fair play to Catterall, because I thought with the new trainer, I thought it was very risky, in my opinion, with the new trainer. That's why I went for Essuman to win. And but fair play to Catterall. It looked like it was a breath of fresh air, wasn't it, under the new trainer as well. Azim ended up stopping Scoby in the final round to top off a dominant, controlled, still performance from Azim. Yeah, it's a dominant performance. He won every round. Scoby tried to be competitive, didn't he? He tried to be competitive with Azim, but Azim just showed that it was just that level above Scoby. Scoby was great for the build-up, wasn't he? Getting under Azim's skin. But Azim, as expected, did the job I expected him to do. And for me, we need to see Azim versus Dalton Smith next, regardless if Smith beats Sabel Mateus or not, in my opinion. We need to make that fight. We cannot have Azim versus Dalton Smith being another fight that came too yet, in my opinion. Why not? Because we can easily have a rematch between the two of them, where it's even bigger. I think they should make Azim versus Smith now, after Smith's had his fight with Mateus. And you can easily have a rematch where it's even bigger in a stadium. Why not? Why not have the first fight in like the O2 Arena or something like that? At the O2 Arena, then where it's like early stages of their career, and once they both progress in their careers, have it at Wembley or Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for a massive title, in a massive title fight. It's not rocket science, is it? Scoby, he'll come back. He'll come back, still early in his career, and he'll come back as well. Riakporhe knocking out Tommy Welch in round 2. Riakporhe actually lost the first round, didn't he, to Tommy Welch? Yeah, Tommy Welch was on Riakporhe straight away from the first bell in the first round, landing shots on Riakporhe. So Riakporhe needs to work on that defense for me. But then the second round, Tommy Welch, he just left far too many openings, didn't he? And Riakporhe, very powerful at heavyweight, isn't he, Riakporhe? And knocked Tommy Welch down 3 times. Tommy Welch tried getting back up, didn't he? But Johnny saw that quick. But Riakporhe, rightly so, stopped Tommy Welch. The fight was stopped. Riakporhe, too powerful for Tommy Welch. And for me, we need to have that Yon Satori fight next for Riakporhe. It's the only fight that makes sense next for both fighters, in my opinion. Settle that beef as well. Maybe might not be a great fight to watch, considering Yon Satori, with the way Yon Satori fights, which is quite tactical as well. But it's the only fight that makes sense next for both. Tommy Welch, for me, it doesn't look like a heavyweight for me. He's more of a cruiserweight for me. So I think he should go back down to cruiserweight or maybe fight at bridgerweight. I think that's the weight division for Tommy Welch, in my opinion, when I look at him. And finally, the final fight on the Eubank Benn card. Ismail Davis outpointing Sam D in a real pick-em fight to win the British and Commonwealth belts. And fair play to Ismail Davis, because they are quite good belts to win as well for your career. Because fair play to Ismail Davis, because I was questioning his career, to be honest with you, because he had 3 short notice fights against Seri Bolchuk and Josh Khegai. Sorry, two short notice fights against Josh Khegai and Seri Bolchuk. The Josh Khegai fight, if that went on for a couple more rounds, he would have beaten Josh Khegai, in my opinion, and nicked it on points. Say Bolchuk is just that levels above Ismail Davis. Just comparing an apple with orange, really. And obviously the Adiarco fight, where Ismail Davis just fought the one fight for me against Adiarco. But in this fight, Ismail Davis was... For me, he was unpredictable, wasn't he, for Sam D? And Sam D could not cope with Ismail Davis' unpredictable stances from orthodox to boxing on the back foot. Which for me, won Ismail Davis that fight, in my opinion. Definitely won Ismail Davis that fight for me. And sorry about that, I just had a phone call. But yeah, we'll pick from fight between the two of them. And Ismail Davis just looked a bit too... I just think Ismail Davis' unpredictable stances for me was the difference in this fight for me than Sam D. was the difference. Because if Ismail Davis wasn't that unpredictable, then I think someday you probably would have had a better chance of winning the fight, in my opinion. And the final round for me, was it the final round or was it round 11? Can't remember. But I think it was the final round where Ismail Davis, somebody ended up skipping, didn't they? But it wasn't a skip for me. It wasn't a skip. That was a knockdown for me. But it wasn't given. It wasn't given as a knockdown. But for me, it was a knockdown. And that's what won Ismail Davis the fight for me on my card. Because without that knockdown, even though I started at knockdown, I don't care what the referee said. I don't care what the referee said about it not being a knockdown. It was a knockdown for me. So I started at knockdown. Without that knockdown, I actually had the fight at 12. But that knockdown won it for me, for Ismail Davis. And for me, what next for both fighters? I think Bayal Fawad deserves his shot at the British and Commonwealth belts for me. After winning in this title against John Botson. So I do like the Davis versus Fawaz fight. When I thought about it, I was like, yeah, that's the fight to make next. And I think someday should go in against John Botson. I think that's a winnable fight for both fighters. I think I would make someday favourite for that fight, with them effective body shots as well. I still think he is better Botson than John Botson, but it's like that will be like a now or never fight for John Botson. Let's be real. So that's my thoughts on that. And onto the Espinosa card. Rafael Espinosa dominates and stops Arnold Tadji in the 11th round to retain his WBO world title. Rafael Espinosa, I've said it time and time again, he is the best featherweight in the world right now, in my opinion. He's got everything. The guy has everything for me. And I think Nick Ball would struggle against him, if I'm being honest with you. It's just a technically skilled fighter, Espinosa, just got everything. The way he did the job on Arnold Tadji as well, Tadji as well. And what next for Espinosa? Don't have that WBC belt for me. Don't have that WBC belt. Still Bruce Townsend, in my opinion, he would still him as well. He would still him, if I'm being honest with you. Bruce Townsend will probably become the WBC champion with Stephen Fulton moving up to super featherweight to fight Shaki Fotzer with the WBC super featherweight belt. So I would expect Townsend to be elevated to the WBC champion. Then Espinosa will be thinking easy money, easy work that fight, easy work, and become probably the first unified featherweight champion in quite a while, because featherweight has been quite featherweight. We've not actually seen unified champions yet at featherweight. Well, we haven't for quite a while. So yeah, Rafael Espinosa, best featherweight in the world for me. Your final Delgado wins by split decision against David Valenzuela. I wouldn't say a robbery. I do think Valenzuela won the fight for me. I think we saw the struggles for Delgado at 140, which is why I think Delgado should move up to 147. We saw the struggles in that fight, him at 140. I still thought it was a close fight for me. I thought Venezuela's not, again, I actually think the knockdown from Venezuela won him the fight for me. Without that knockdown, I probably would have started at 12, if I'm being honest with you. Or maybe it's Delgado. But the knockdown during the fight for Venezuela won the fight for me for Venezuela on the card, on my card anyways. So I think Delgado needs to move to 147. He looked quite tight at 140. And I think he looks probably more better as a 147 fighter, in my opinion. Obviously, we'll go on to what could be next. That Darryl Venezuela was for yet one in the fight, yet one on this video. Fritter Torres returned to action, only needed 15 seconds to stop and break Thomas Salek's nodes. Basically, the American was Zatoma, isn't he? Same style. Definitely the same style for me. Definitely the American Moses Atoma. I think they're so alike, the both of them. We may see that fight in the future for Torrez Jr. versus Moses Atoma. But in terms of what next for Torrez Jr., which was basically a warm up for him, wasn't it? I think the pathway for him in any order should be Gerard Anderson, F.A. Chopper, and Bahar Chararov, the fights for me. In any order, don't matter who he fights next out of all three of them, that should be his pathway next, in my opinion. Gerald Anderson not been out for quite a while, was he? Not been out for quite a while. F.A. Chopper would be a tough fight for him. Chararov, obviously, again, Chararov has that Olympic background, doesn't he? That'll be like a Olympic class, wouldn't it? Torrez Jr. versus Chararov. So I think that's what should be the pathway next, and we may see Moses Atoma versus Torrez Jr. as a future fight. They're so alike, aren't they, in terms of the styles? Two more fights to review. In Mariano Vargas, comfortably wins by now decision against Jonathan Montreal. Just very good. Very good performance from Vargas, and just very good, doesn't he? He is a very good bottom fighter, in Mariano Vargas. Could he face David Valenzuela next? Or is that too early of a step up? I think it's just a bit too early for a step up yet for Vargas, because it brings me on to this point. I actually think that Mariano Vargas should fight Sean Orobio, who won as well, who stopped on Don Denny in the second round, which was easy work for Orobio, dropping him twice in the second round before the referee stopped it. I think this fight makes more sense for Mariano Vargas for me to take on Orobio next, if I'm being honest with you. Makes sense for both fighters to face each other next, in my opinion. I just think David Valenzuela for both of these fighters is still that step up for me. Still that step up. I think both these fighters should face each other next, and then the winner takes on David Valenzuela next, in my opinion. That's what should happen next, if I'm being honest with you. So that is my boxing review. Obviously, there's only one man who stole the show. It's all about Conor Benn defeating Eubank Jr. by unanimous decision. Then the redemption, and the Benns finally getting a win over the Eubanks as well. And yeah, feel free to leave your thoughts on everything I spoke about down below on this boxing review. And yeah, should Eubank Jr. now retire, and what next for Conor Benn?